There once was a time when Fabrizio Romano could tweet just 3 words and the entire football world would stop. Here we go used to mean something, but now you'll see this man post 4 times a week about an 18-year-old wonder kid. Lamine Yamal has new boots. Lamine Yamal is eating ice cream with his family. Lamine Yamal blinked twice today. What happened to Fabrizio Romano? How did he insider to the guy fans now accuse of clickbaiting, overhyping teenagers, spamming nonsense and glazing players like it's his full-time job? This is no hate piece. This is a story of how too much of a good thing became annoying. And this is why nobody likes Fabrizio Romano anymore. Now, Fabrizio wasn't just lucky. He didn't blow up overnight, he built this. He's a guy who started small. A journalism student from Naples who just kept showing up. He began his career working on Gianluca Di Marzo's team, a legendary Italian football journalist, when he was just 18. At first, he was just helping with sourcing, translating interviews, chasing down updates, but it didn't take long before people realized. This kid is fast, he's connected and he's always right. Fabrizio didn't get lucky, he was simply obsessed. He was the first to weaponize Twitter as a football journalist, not to rant, not to meme, but to break news. Instant, short-form news, tweet by tweet. And back in 2014, while journalists were still writing articles for every rumor, Fabrizio was tweeting. João Cancelo, deal confirmed, medical booked, here we go. Boom! No fluff, no clickbait, just info. He built trust like no one else, and people started seeing his tweets as a reliable source. And then it happened, here we go. Those 3 words were his LeBron chalk toss, his stone cold entrance music, his Cristiano Su. When Fabrizio typed those words, the deal was done. It became football's most iconic phrase since "You'll never walk alone." He trademarked it, built his brand around it, used it as a podcast name and sold it to sponsors. But more than that, it became an emotion. We got the striker, here we go, he's leaving, oh no, here we go. 100 million, here we go, damn. Fans lived for it. Clubs even started changing how they announced signings. Some even waited for him to tweet first, then posted the jersey picture. No one, and I mean no one, in the history of football media had this kind of grip on the sport. But every empire that gets too big starts to crack. And Fabrizio's downfall started with the thing that made him famous: tweeting. At first, it was subtle. People started noticing. Wait, didn't you already tweet this 3 hours ago? He tweets something like, Manchester United interested in signing Frankie de Jong, talks ongoing. Then 6 hours later, update. Man United remain in contact for de Jong, no bid yet. Then again the next day, nothing has changed on de Jong, still no full agreement. Fans were like, bro, we know. It wasn't news anymore, it was filler. He went from reporting news to narrating the waiting period. He was like a live commentator for events that weren't even happening. People started to joke, Fabrizio will tweet, nothing is happening, here we go. And that's when the memes started. Fabrizio was always an online guy, but when you tweet 20 times a day, the internet will eventually turn you into content. And that's exactly what happened. Reddit, TikTok, Twitter or X turned him into a meme. Then also came the parody accounts. People were tweeting fake here we go posts just to troll others, and half the time they looked legit. That's how predictable he had become. That's how formulaic the tweets had become. And then came the player glazing. Let's talk about his most obvious one, Lamine Yamal. Yes, he's a generational talent. Yes, he's young. Yes, he's gifted. But bro, please, for the love of God, chill. Fabrizio tweets about him like he's a son. We're talking Lamine Yamal scores in training, focused and ready. Lamine Yamal's proud of his progress. Lamine Yamal wearing custom boots. Lamine Yamal eating ice cream with his family. Lamine Yamal still on holiday, relaxed and happy. He tweeted about him on his own vacation. Fabrizio was on holiday in Greece, reading about Yamal's holiday in Spain. People were like, is this guy okay? At some point, it went from admiration to obsession. And fans, they started calling it what it is, glazing. And that really started to rub people the wrong way. Now let's also talk about his tweet inflation. Back in 2019 or 2020, a Fabrizio tweet meant something. If you saw medical booked, that meant the player was in the car, window down, jersey half on, it was happening. But now, you'll see something like, player appreciated by club, internal discussions have taken place, no concrete steps yet. More to follow. Bro, what does that even mean? Appreciated? That could mean anything. My dog appreciates me when I feed him. That doesn't mean he's preparing a contract offer. This is what happens when the pace of content becomes more important than the quality of content. Fabrizio built his brand on clarity, but lately, his tweets feel like riddles designed to keep engagement going, even if nothing's changed. And the fans, they notice. You'll see replies like, you've tweeted this 5 times already. No new info, you're dragging this. Let me know when it's here we go, not when it's talks ongoing. The trust begins to fade. And when the trust fades, someone else steps in. In the world of football transfers, there are 2 kinds of people. The loud ones who tweet every 30 minutes and the quiet ones who drop 1 tweet and it's always 100% facts. Fabrizio? He's the first type. And David Ornstein? He's the second. Let's talk about how he became the anti-Fabrizio. On-scene works with The Athletic, a more traditional outlet, but in recent years, his name has become gold. He doesn't spam, he doesn't stretch rumors, and he doesn't do 12 updates on the same story. He posts once, and when he does, the world listens. He's like the quiet sniper in the transfer game. No build-up, no drama, just Arsenal have reached full agreement to sign Declan Rice. Deal done. Fans started comparing him directly with Fabrizio, and well, it's not looking good for him, because while Romano was tweeting about talks, negotiations, player preference, agent contacts, holidays, mood swings and weather conditions, On-scene was tweeting once and getting it right. And lately, Fabrizio is getting a bunch of big transfers wrong.
Here we go. Fabrizio Romano got wrong. Ziyech to Al Nassr. Isco to Union Berlin. Fabrizio Bruno to West Ham. Juninho to Sevilla. Malacia to Leon. Tyler Adams to Chelsea. Mika Otadze to AS Monaco. Brescianini to Napoli. Dzeko to Juventus. Arkadiusz Milik to Roma. Pedro Lima to Chelsea. Joao Pedro to Newcastle. Samu Omorodion to Chelsea.
Meanwhile, On-scene nailed all of those. No filler, no drama, just facts. And the fans now prefer him over Fabrizio. And the wildest part? Fabrizio replies are now full of fans waiting for On-scene to confirm. That's how far the power shift has gone. But to be fair, let's talk about the pressure Fabrizio's under. This isn't just a guy tweeting from his couch anymore. He's a business, a brand, a media machine. He has a team, he runs a podcast, got Twitch streams, he's monetized Twitter, YouTube Shorts, Instagram, TikTok. He travels constantly and he's answering calls from agents, PR people, lawyers, club insiders, families, marketing teams 24/7. There's no off switch. There's no such thing as weekend. And that volume of responsibility leads to one thing: quantity over quality. Because when you're tweeting for algorithms, engagement and monetization, you're going to post everything, even when it's not fully confirmed. It becomes less about truth and more about being first. And that's where Fabrizio is now. He's not just a journalist, he's an influencer, a football content creator, a 24/7 live feed. And in that shift, he's lost something: the trust, the simplicity and the silence between the chaos. The here we go still drops, but the emotion is gone. It's not exciting anymore, it's just expected. It's not like Fabrizio committed some huge scandal. He didn't lie, he didn't steal, he didn't take bribes, he didn't do anything wrong. But what he did do was too much. And there's a name for that: fandom fatigue. It happens to everyone who goes from underground favorite to mainstream machine. And at some point, the audience gets oversaturated. What used to feel exclusive now feels regular. In the beginning, when Fabrizio tweeted, you felt lucky to see it first. Now, you roll your eyes and say, not this again. You know it's bad when fans are replying to his tweets with, bro, log off, or you used to be him, now you're a fraud. People aren't angry, they're just exhausted. And when fans stop caring, that's worse than when they're mad. Because that means you've lost relevance. Another reason people have turned on Fabrizio? They feel like he stopped being a journalist and has become more of a clout merchant. Reaction video skits, merch drops, partnerships with brands like Pepsi and EA Sports. He doesn't appear on Sky Sports the way Di Marzio used to. He appears on YouTube shows, FIFA promos and Twitch watch-alongs. And that's fine, it's the modern way of doing things. But with that modern path comes modern criticism. And maybe that's the biggest shift of all. People used to open the app to check if Fabrizio tweeted. Now, they expect him to tweet constantly. And when he doesn't say something exciting, they get annoyed. He's not rewarded for accuracy anymore, he's rewarded for volume. And when that happens, you stop being a reporter and become part of the noise. But let's step back for a second. What if this whole thing isn't even about Fabrizio? What if the real problem is the culture around transfers? Because think about it. We obsess over rumors more than actual matches. We know Fabrizio's tweet history better than our own club's win-loss record. People celebrate transfers like trophies. But what are we really doing? We're treating football like a video game, collecting players, building squads, chasing dopamine. And Fabrizio? He's just a narrator. He became too good at delivering what we wanted. And we burned ourselves out. This isn't the fall of Fabrizio. It's the fall of transfer season magic. We begged for more news, more updates, more exclusive. And now that we get 30 tweets a day, people tell him to shut up. We ruined him. So where does that leave Fabrizio now? Is he done? Washed? Irrelevant? Absolutely not. He still has 20+ million combined followers, the biggest reach of any football journalist, and a massive YouTube and podcast network. Even if fans are annoyed, they still check his feed first. Even if he's late, they still retweet him. Even if On-scene is more accurate, Fabrizio's still louder. He's still part of the football experience. He just feels different now. Before he was the voice of truth. Now he's the voice of everything. And in an age of content overload, being everything means you're nothing specific anymore. So let's conclude this whole thing. Why don't people like Fabrizio Romano anymore? First of all, because he got too big, too fast, and he was too everywhere. He didn't fall, he didn't mess up, he didn't lie. He just became a machine in a world that craves emotion. He became the Spotify algorithm of football journalism. And when you turn your passion into a 24/7 job, when you become a brand before a human, you lose the thing that made people care about you in the first place. And that's what happened to Fabrizio. He didn't ruin transfer season. We all did, together. We turned it into content, we asked for drama, and we chased the rush. And now, the rush is gone. I really appreciate if you stayed for this long. Thanks for watching and subscribe for more football deep dives. And remember, sometimes silence is more powerful than the next tweet. I'll catch y'all on the next one.